ka, as Cap defined it, it's between 0 to 10 days. Kung swing ka, 2 to 4 weeks. Pag trend following, that's more than 4 weeks. Okay, yun. Sample. Wait, bago may internet pa. So anyway, ito yung tinuro sa atin na, so nilagay ko lang dito para lang to help everybody recall. So kung box top, napakahabang consolidation yan, napakalaking box. So if I were to trade this, wala tong 3 days na to, break off the box, 2 flux above it. Teka, kayo ba ginagawa nyo rin? Kasi ako dati, nung nag-start talaga ako after ng impact, yung flux ko para sa akin, kunyari, anong entry point nito? 11.74. Ang sa akin yan siguro, mag-aandal ako ng 2 points.
76.
Ganun ginagawa ko. Ang pala talaga dapat dyan, titignan mo, punta ka sa call, kung may call ka, open mo yung code, andun yung fluctuation eh. Ang fluctuation ni Welcon is 0.02. So kung 2 flux, 0.04 dapat. So ibig sabihin, 11.70 break off, 11.70, kaya 11.74 ang entry dito. Kaya yan yun yung gusto mong entry. 11.7. And cut loss point mo, technical cut loss point ang gusto ko eh. So,
TOT.
So technically, ang choice ko, at tinitingnan ko talaga dyan is yung lower, the low of the previous day. So, ito yan, tawag dito. 11.50, maba? Ay, no, sorry, 11.40 yung isa. 11.40. Pero ang pinakaano ko talaga dyan, kasi yan, yung kinumpute ka na yung niya eh.
2%.
2% lang yung loss ko dito kung sa, ang tawag dito, 2 to 5 flux lang before, below the technical cut loss point. So, ang technical cut loss point ko talaga ito eh. Yung dulo na, yung wick na yan, yung dulo na yan. Align dyan dun eh. So, kalinya yan. So, yun yung technical cut loss point niyan is at 11.50. Yun yung first option. Second option ko is, ito nga, low of the previous day's candle, which is 11.40. So, since sinukat ko sila pareho, mas konti yung loss ko dito sa kabila, and technical cut loss point na yung gusto ko i-follow, dito ako. Yung mas na ito. Kasi I'd rather have that technical cut loss point na sakto lang. Na hindi masyadong malaki yung loss ko. Gusto ko tight siya. Especially since we're trading box breakouts most of the time. Dapat ganun. We have to strictly follow that. Kung ano yung tinuro sa atin, 2 to 5 flux below ng technical cut loss point. That is if you're trading the box top. So, ang alam ko naman sa atin, most of us would want to sometimes enter the trade na kahit hindi pa box top. Pero alam mo yung ang keyword kasi doon, you're anticipating the breakout. So anyway, using the same chart, ginawa ko talaga tong trade na to. Within the yung sa akin naman may konting daya din kasi alam ko naman DB50 breakout. Pero anyway nga, kung imagine mo kung maliit lang yan, yung siguro sa ibang charts, maliit na maigsi. Kasi yun yung gusto natin, di ba? Strong boxes, type 2 boxes. Minsan mag-anticipate ka na, gusto mo bumili sa technique pa nagbe-breakout. So, ano bang magandang approach dyan? Kung itong trade na to yung pag-uusapan natin, I bought end of day at 11.16. Kasi nakita ko na DB50. Okay lang naman siya. Maganda yung candle, very strong. So, ang ginawa ko na kaagad na cut loss point niyan is, muna ito. At point, negative 2.29. That's, actually, 2 flux below nung low ng candle na yan na yan dito. The other one, which is sobrang lalim, textbook, textbook cut loss point, which is the bottom of the box. Tingnan mo kung gaano kalalim, 5.87. So, hindi talaga yung sinet yung cut loss. Ito talaga. 2 flocks below ng below nung day na pumasok ako. Ang catch lang dyan, binenta ko na agad yung second day. Kasi sayang nga hindi ko i-note on. Kasi ang trade objective ko kasi that time, chupet lang talaga. So I just followed my plan. Sayang nga kasi biruin mo ilang percent din yun. Or yun nga hindsight trading, kumbaga hindi mo naman alam kung saan siya. Basta just follow your trade objective. Okay, so yun nga, follow your plan, take your plan, follow your plan. Ito next, be rational. So when you're in a losing position, we'll often rationalize that still haven't taken the loss. Ang real deal kasi dyan, nag-loss ka na. You already have the loss, whether you call it a paper loss or a losing position. The loss is very real. So you have to understand that. Third, stop looking at your position all day long. So the daily fluctuations can drive you absolutely crazy and will tempt you to deviate from your plan. So when you're in a position already, just stop looking at it and do something else until a real sell signal shows up. Remember yung sabi ni Cap, yun nga, yung sinabi ko na kanina na sell when you see a sell signal, don't just sell. Kasi na-bore ka, gusto mong lumipat ng ibang trade, may lumipad, may magsisiling, lipat na ako. Diba? So, sabi rin ni Sir Messina before, not everybody, hindi ka, ibig sabihin may magsisiling, ceiling play ka na rin. Hindi siya applicable sa lahat. Anyway. Yun, since you want to stop looking at your position all day long. Oh, before pala that, ito pala yung sinabi ni Mark Douglas. Market moves in ways that will consistently tempt you to believing that you don't need to follow your rule this time. So, gusto ni Mark Douglas, you strictly adhere to your rules. So, kilala niyo naman si Mark Douglas, author ng Trading in the Zone and The Disciplined Trade. Since gusto mong mag-stop looking at your position all day long, invest a watcher. Hindi ako bayad pero ito, malaking tulong talaga sa trading ito ever since. At 2,000 pesos in a year, isang baita trade lang ni Drew.
Kay Moti yan
Baka lahat tayo na nabili na ng Invest a Watcher niya sa isang trade na.
Wow.
Diba? So, yun, sobrang advantageous. You get notified in SMS, email, kahit sa Facebook. Diba? Tapos 15 stocks. Diba? Okay naman kung 15 stocks yung minawatch mo talaga, pero diba? To 15 stocks. So, isa rin to sa sinabi ni Cap, trading tools. Mga bagay na nakakatulong pag nagte-trade ka. Malaking bagay. Kahit si ZF, yung gamit na, si Sir ZF. Okay. Eto, na-share ko na before to sa group Pero, kinuha ko yung clip. This is a short 5-minute clip na gusto ko sanang pakinggan natin lahat. Kasi eto, maiksi-maiksi lang. Pero sobrang binago niya yung buhay ko sa trading. 5 minutes lang to
In the mechanical mode, this is not in any way saying that you should not use stops. Absolutely. It's a disastrous thing to do, not use stops. Okay, because I'm not saying that regardless of any of this that you can't make money. All I'm doing is giving you examples that there are people out there who will drive prices up and offer them lower, that they have the psychological and financial resources to do it. And the reason why I'm making so much emphasis is that the typical passive technical trader would never conceive of actually bidding a market up. And so as a result, it's very difficult for you to think that anyone else can do it either. When the reality is that's the only way, in many cases, you're going to make money. And so the point that I'm making is that you're trading off of a mathematical formula. Literally, you're trading, and this mathematical formula, what technical analysis does is it gets into the collective mind of the market. In other words, every tick, every uptick and every downtick is information. That information is accumulated and mathematical principles are applied to it. There are actual patterns that emerge, that repeat themselves over and over and over again. that you can identify with mathematical formulas or with these visual price patterns. But the problem is that there's no mathematical formula that can get into the mind of the individual traders who actually are driving prices up or offering them lower. But if you don't know that, you somehow or another, if you're trading on a smaller time frame, and you get a little pullback right here, okay? And based on that pullback, your methodology says, okay, it's time to buy. And you do. And you do it just before this hedge fund manager comes in and starts driving the price up. See, you're going to think that the reason why you won is because that your mathematical formula told you what was happening next. And that was the reason why it happened. What I'm saying to you now is that there almost isn't any reason that you could come up with, whether you won or lost, that would correspond to what really happened in the market. Do you hear what I just said? There's almost no reason that you will come up with to put on a trade that will ever correspond with the actual reason why the market went up or the market went down, other than the fact that there was an imbalance in conviction between buyers and sellers. Because the people who do this will not tell you unless it's in their best interest to do so. And the reason, the people who report it in the news agencies, they don't know either. They're making it up. They make up the reasons because they sound reasonable. They are paid to sound reasonable. And there's no way to verify what it is that they say.
Or to disprove what they say.
That's right. There's no way. The only people who can do it are the people who actually made the trades. The only people who know for sure what's going to happen next are the ones who are willing to make it happen. You see, we'll put on a trade and find ourselves in a nice monster little winner here and think, oh man, my methodology, it is just fantastic. And then the next time you get the same signal and then you don't get anything. Not only that, it's a loser. You think, oh, now you feel betrayed. You think your methodology let you down. Your methodology wasn't designed to tell you what's going to happen next on a trade-by-trade basis. No technical methodology is. That's where your expectations are not in line with the reality of the situation. That's why it's so easy to make mistakes. It's because you're expecting something from your methodology that just doesn't exist. It just doesn't. It never did. On a trade-by-trade basis. They will tell you what will happen. Let's say, I don't want to use the words to happen next. They'll tell you what will happen over a series of trades on a percentage basis. This particular pattern will emerge X number of times, and when it does, there's a higher probability of this happening than that. If I limit my risk when I take the trade, and my profits, my profit potential is at least 1 or 2 or 3 times greater than what I need to risk, then over a series of trades, I will be a consistent winner. That's what trading is all about, guys, as a passive technical trader. Unless you're doing this other stuff, I just said it right then and there. I said it all right then and there.
Meron kang box, strong box, sabihin na natin strong box breakout. Diba? Sometimes you get whipsaw or worse, talagang bulka. Diba? High probability setup siya. Or it doesn't always work. You know that. You have to know that. So ang sinasabi lang naman ni Mark Douglas dito, you have to make sure you compute your risk-reward before entering the trade. Tapos follow mo yung plan mo. And eventually, basta maganda yung risk-reward ratio mo, you'll turn out the winner eventually. Diba? The thing is, kung enter ka lang na enter ng trade, hindi mo pasok ka lang ng pasok, out of whim, akit, umalaw yung presyo, bili ako nito, plano ko na kagad yung, minsan habang open yung market, ginagawa mo. Mahirap yun sobrang hirap. Iba talaga kapag, ang talagang pinakamaganda gawin after pag nag-close na yung market, dyan ka mag-set ng plan. you set all your plans hindi during while the market is open. You set them right after. Doon ka gumawa ng plan. Doon mo lang isulat sa journal mo. And yun nga pala yung thing na yun, yung pinaka-importante. This particular pattern will emerge X number of times, and when it does, there's a high probability. Ibig sabihin yan, you have to journal kasi you want to build data. Yun yung keyword, build data. Hindi pwedeng, naka ano na ako dyan, naka 20 trades na ako dyan. Laki na ano ka dyan, batting average. 20 trades, seryoso. 100 nga minimum dapat eh. 100, at least. Kasi you want to make the law of large numbers work for you. Law of large numbers. You always have to think in probabilities. Ang best way nga yan, if you enter a trade, isipin mo na kagad kung pinasok mo, talo ka na kagad. It's better that way. And it's up to Miss Market to prove you wrong. Kasi bakit din yung judge. Kapag ganun lagi ang approach. Kasi ako dati wala akong ganyan. Hindi ko alam yan eh. So yun nga, sinabi ko, life-changing para sa akin as a trader yung una kong napanood din. Kasi, nabago niya na kaagad yung mindset mo eh. So ngayon talagang talagang pag mag-trade ako, ipaplan ko to. Nagawa ko tong trade to, close trade, add ko to sa journal. You have to build the data para alam mo kung saan yung strengths mo eventually. Kaya rin sinabi ni Cap, di ba, ang goal natin after impact is to find your niche. Yun yung unang goal mo after impact eh. Find your niche, find kung saan ka magaling, what works for you, tapos build data, kasi kailangan mo yun. Tapos, ito, to close this is something I'd like you to look into on your own. Kasi sobrang sobrang importante siya pag nagte-trade ka. You have to realize yung relationship between risk-reward ratio and win rate. So, ito for example, nag-build ka na ng data, ito yung win rate mo, 25%, siguro 1 out of 4 trades ang mo. Ang mo dapat dyan, to be profitable is 3:1. So imagine mo kung kukuha ka ng 2:1, dapat 33% yung win rate. Diba? Parang doon pa lang, parang hirap na ng 33% eh. Pero yung magagaling talaga na traders na kahit 50% yung win rate, okay lang 1:1 yung trade nila. Pero tayo as starters, it's better na yun nga. Let's build data, let's to work on our niche. Kung nanap na natin yung niche natin, puruhan natin. Tapos let's make sure na tutukan natin yung risk-reward ratio. We don't want to, dahil lang okay yung setup, pero so-so lang yung risk-reward ratio, pasukan mo na. Hindi. Dapat tingnan mo lagi yung risk-reward ratio before you enter.